Welcome back, and if you're just joining us, you can click on this link to view the introduction to this video series on mission trips. Yesterday I introduced evangelism as the final section in preparing for a mission trip. I challenge you to not only know what the gospel is, but to know how to share it. My fear is that too many people would affirm that yes, they do know what the gospel is, but they convince themselves that they could never be courageous or bold enough to share it. Too many people love the idea of being sent, but cringe at the thought of needing to preach. We think of our strong evangelists like Paul, or the traveling evangelist, the guy on TV, or even our senior pastor. However, in 1 Corinthians 2, 1 through 5, it was the missionary Paul who said, "When I came to you, brothers, I did not come with lofty speech or wisdom, for I decided to know nothing among you except Jesus Christ and Him crucified. And I was with you in weakness, and in fear and much trembling. And my speech and my message were not plausible words of wisdom, but in demonstration of the Spirit and of the power, so that your faith might not rest in the wisdom of men, but in the power of God." The power of salvation does not rest in the smoothness of our words, but in the strength of God. In Mark 4, we see the parable of the sower, and it says in verse 26, "The kingdom of God is like a man who scattered seeds on the ground. He slept, and when he rose the next day, the seeds sprouted and grew. He knows not how." It says that the man scattered seeds, and he doesn't know how they grow. And finally, in 1 Corinthians 3:6, it says, "Paul planted, Apollos watered, but God gave the growth." You can start scattering seeds today by using something as simple as a gospel tract. I'm certainly not going to discourage you from standing on the street corner and proclaiming the gospel, but I want to at least encourage you to take your first step toward evangelism by simply handing someone a gospel tract. There are many great gospel tracts and booklets that you can give to a family, a friend, or even strangers that will point people to Jesus Christ. Ask your pastor or do a quick online search to find some inexpensive and yet biblically sound information you can give to someone. However, if your fear of rejection or the thought of handing someone a gospel tract by saying, "Hey, do you get one of these?" if that is too much to overcome, you might not be called to go on a mission trip. But if you're willing to move past your fear and simply be obedient to scatter seeds, you will be boldly and courageously doing the work of an evangelist because you'll be scattering seeds. Seeds that others will water, and ultimately seeds that God will give the growth to. And that is missions.